Here's an interesting problem I came up with in epistemology. For now, I'm going to call it the selective argumentation problem. And here's how it works. Basically, when you have two different sides arguing over a topic, what a lot of people don't realize if they're in the middle of the argument is that there could be a third side that isn't involved in the argument, doesn't care about the topic, and from the perspective of that third side, the entire debate is just pointless. And so why is this important? Well, because you may be debating nonsense, essentially, when viewed from a third-person perspective. So here's an example. Now, if you go on YouTube, you can find a lot of examples of different religions debating each other. You can find Christians debating Muslims, Christians debating Mormons, you can find Muslims debating Hindus. And so here's one example in practice that I saw of this, is that I saw this video of a Christian debating some Mormon missionaries, and they were talking about how to interpret the Bible, throwing Bible quotes at one another, and of course both religions do believe in the Bible, but the difference is that the Mormons also have their Book of Mormon, and so they have to somehow square their beliefs in the Book of Mormon with the Bible, because both of them are authoritative texts to them. And so I was watching this, and from my perspective, it's just so silly, because I've kind of seen through religion through my truth-seeking process. And that just made me think, there must be so many different ways in which people, and myself included, are debating things that they actually shouldn't be debating over. And this applies just when you're thinking by yourself, by the way, because you're kind of using an internal monologue and you're debating with yourself. Now, you probably don't hate yourself as much as you hate your opponent in a debate, but it's kind of similar. So just think about, am I actually asking the right questions? Because if they're irrelevant, then I'm just wasting my time and my energy. So the first thing you have to do is to actually figure out what the right questions to be asking are, what the right things to be thinking about are, and only then can you move on to debating. And in fact, rather than debating, what would be better is to just think about what the truth is, because debating tends to get in the way of that with ad hominem attacks and so on. So try that out.